Today I visited the home of an elderly lady that we have helped for many years. This lady, she's in her 90s. She's very well known in the Burnley area by a lot of people, as are her family well known in Burnley. She's a very influential lady and she's a very wise lady. And she's not a lady to mince her words. So she said to me today, James, you need to tell people the truth. You need to tell people exactly what has happened. Because the majority of people that she speaks to, or she has spoken to, have been told lies, and she's put them all straight. And every single one of them are like, wow, we didn't know. So she told me, tell the truth, do a video, tell people the truth. So here I am, because of this lady. And she also said that if I need to ask her for any help or backing on this video, she will gladly give it, which is good because she is a very influential lady in Burnley in Lancashire. So in 2017 I started DEFA, and I started it because elderly, vulnerable and disabled members of the public were needed plumbing and heating support. For the first 12 months it was a struggle. Every penny that we earned on Northern Plumbing and Heating as a profit was getting used to subsidise and cash roll the free work that we were doing for the elderly, the vulnerable and the disabled. And then in 2018 I decided to register it as a CIC and shut Northern Plumbing and Heating down, which I did. So we transitioned forward as DEFA CIC. With the support of the public voted for it. They said, yeah, definitely keep it going, and we did. And we were getting many calls every single week for free plumbing, free heating, boilers, and a lot of paid work. The paid work subsidised and cash rolled some of the free work that we done, some of the free boilers, free gas leaks, free heating repairs, free bathrooms, a lot of stuff that we were doing around the local community. Then it started getting a bit of a struggle because the workload was coming in a lot higher for DEFA than what it was for Northern Plumbing. Okay, because we still had Northern Plumbing customers who thought we were still doing Northern Plumbing work, and we weren't. Well, we couldn't say no. So in the early days of 2018 to 2019, a very close relative of mine cash rolled DEFA up to a total of just under £63,000. All money that this person cash rolled into DEFA was paid to suppliers, to the vans, to loans that I had to take out to keep the business going and keep DEFA running. And the majority of that obviously was used for paying the lads' wages as well. Okay, because I had engineers working for me and they needed to be paid. They had bills to pay, they had families to support. Then 2019 to 2020, as you know, the pandemic hit and we all struggled and we all done the best we could. We did as a company. We had PPE, we had food parcels, we had gas and electric, and we were still doing free boilers and free heating. We had the birthday appeal that we had going in the initiatives, and we've done everything we could to help as many people as we could in the community. Then at the end of the pandemic, at the end of 2021 to 2022, the cost of living hit, and we started getting a lot more support from many people from everywhere, and it was good, it was brilliant, it was excellent. So we opened a second-hand shop, we were selling second-hand furniture, we had a tombola, we had a food drive, we were sending ASDA deliveries to homes and properties and initiatives and charities and organisations and veterans all over the United Kingdom. We were putting homeless people up in hotels in different parts of the country, Glasgow, Cardiff, Wales, in Burnley, in Liverpool, and we were helping as many people as we could. We were supporting people with educational support, £20,000 spent on educational support to support children in local schools. We bought an arm for a young boy who wanted to just ride his bike with his dad and go fishing. We also bought electric wheelchairs, normal wheelchairs, helped a lot of food banks, a lot of community groups, AIDS UK, we've done a lot of work for them. The list is endless on what we did. And we did a lot with the money that we had coming in. And then I got accused of buying a house for £70,000 and giving it to my father-in-law. I did buy a house for £70,000. It was in Defra's name. It was an asset. Just like the 3 vans that I bought for £123,000. They were an asset. Because at that time, it was either buy them as assets, so they would keep the value for as long as possible, or pay a massive corporation tax bill to the government. Because as a CIC, you're not as a charity. You still have to pay all your dues. You've still got obligations. Obligations of tax, national insurance, corporation tax, VAT, everything. You still have to pay everything. Pension, wages, overheads, rents, everything. You still have to pay everything to run as a company. You don't get none of that for free. Now, a lot of donations that came in from the public were given back to the public, a lot of them. Okay. So, to put that one to bed is good, because I did buy the house. Now, the tenant, okay, I told the CIC regulator, who was the boss of the regulators, the reason why the tenant went into the house and the reason I chose the tenant. The tenant was terminally ill. Okay, he's in a bad way. The tenant is the ex-father-in-law of my wife, divorced 20 years ago from her mother. Also, I put him in there as a tenant because it guaranteed the rent, okay, and also guaranteed the upkeep. Since he's been there, the rent has never been missed. Since he's been there, the house has been in perfect condition. It earns thousands of pounds in revenue and income for the CIC. So it's a win-win situation. So the money I spent was an investment. Okay. There was also rumours of me having a company car. You're allowed a company car. You're allowed a company vehicle. We can't get on buses with boilers and pipework and tools. We can't go for a meeting with 5 people on the bus. And I'm not spending money on taxis, because that would waste money, spending money on taxis. At least buying vehicles and buying a house is assets. It spends the money before it's taxed by the government or by HMRC. So you save. You may not save as much as what you would like it to be, or I would like it to be, but you still save. Okay. So I just need people to understand that there's a lot more for me to say on this matter, and I will. I'll do more videos. But please understand that this has been a massive struggle for many, many years, but we've got through it. Recently, a police investigation for fraudulent and criminal activity that I got accused of was proven wrong. I was proven innocent of all accusations. I was not charged because I didn't do nothing. I never have done nothing. All I've ever done is support the people for as long as I possibly can. And if I'm bad for supporting people, if I'm bad for saving lives, if I'm bad for putting food on the table, if I'm bad for putting clothes on people's backs and putting the homeless in hotels, if I'm bad for supporting charities and veterans, if I'm bad for giving people what they need to live and survive, then tarnish me with something. Do something to show that I'm a bad person for doing all that. All I've ever done is cared. All I've ever done is cared for people. And I'm not going to stop caring. But there'll be more videos coming out soon. Okay. Have a lovely day. Love to you all. Bye-bye.